Starfield has been known as this large and expansive world for players to explore. With over 1,000 planets and 100 systems in the game, it is hard to think otherwise. Even though space travel in the major questline will take up a good chunk of the game, it's the little things that really set it apart from other games out there. And what is up guys, Andrew from the Denmen here, and today I wanted to talk about 5 little features that I'm excited to see in Starfield. Even though these are little and not something that people are talking about, they can really cast a big shadow, so if you are excited, make sure you hit that like button and comment what your favorite features coming to Starfield are. With that being said, we have a lot to go over, so kick back, strap into your seat, and let's blast off into today's video. Starting off, we always see people taking a look at the Creek gameplay and looking at the sheer scope of the world space, but what about the little things like its fauna and resources? This was only shown off for a little while and is overlooked for the most part, but the scanning system looks to be unique and something that fans will enjoy. The feature kind of removes the fact that all of the worlds will be procedurally generated to a certain extent. This is still something we don't know much about, but it is possible that each of the many planets have a unique creature, flora, or resource associated with them. This would make each of the worlds beneficial to travel to, and on top of that, the scanning system would be used as a way to identify what you have to find on each one. It would fit as some sort of way to keep track of your progress in the game, and to also let the player know what they are missing for other features out there. The scanning system looks to be something that will allow other tools out there like outpost building and spaceship travel to work the best they possibly can be. I really like the idea of them leaning into a way to track your exploration, and I can't wait to see how far they will take scanning. The next one kind of goes off the scanning system with the creatures in Starfield. From what we have seen from the E3 showcase, there will be so many out there in the world space. We can see a number of different ones, like some that look like dinosaurs, giant crabs, and weird monstrosities of all kinds. I am mostly looking forward to seeing how we can interact with these alien creatures, because we know some will be hostile, but what about those that are just minding their own business? It will be interesting to see the level of design that went into these aliens and how much of them there truly are. Something that I'm really looking forward to seeing more on is the loot system for the game. How similar will it be to Fallout 76, or will it be more like Skyrim with unique weapon designs for singular items? Fallout 76 had a tier system when it came to the loot in the game. There would be stars next to the logo for the item going from 1 to 2 and so on. Even though I think this is flawed in design, it did help with the replayability for the game. Since it is a multiplayer game, weapons have less meaning for their unique design and instead on which perks they rolled with. The unique designs are something that Skyrim handled really well in my opinion, with swords like Chillrend or Windshear. People look back on these items fondly for their distinctive appearance and would display them with pride for being that secret loot that they can go out and find. It's moments like these that I want to see return in Starfield, and I think there's a real shot for it. Even though crafting will play a big role for the game, I can still see them having tons of unique weapons and armor for players to find. I am definitely looking forward to seeing how they will handle the loot system for Starfield, because they can go in a lot of different ways. These last two kind of go hand in hand with each other, but I actually want to talk about the armor for the game. Now, armor has always been a big part of character progression in Bethesda games. The higher level you get, the harder the enemies, which means you will need a higher base defense. This time around, I think there's a chance it will work a little differently in a lot of ways. I do still think we will follow a similar approach with the higher level, higher defense going on, but with things like crafting and a deeper skill tree, I think there will be a lot more options for build crafting. Say if you wanted to have a Juggernaut build with extreme defense, there will be perks along with different mods you can spec into so you can increase the potency. They can take it even deeper for gameplay options like stealth. Maybe the type of clothing you wear will either help or harm your chances of being found by enemies. You saw this a little in Skyrim, but when you were able to basically be invisible at all times no matter what you were wearing, it's hard to compare to it. These build options go beyond just the armor you wear, but also into the weapons you use as well. I can really see them having armor that increases certain weapon damage across the board and having equipment synergize with each other. There are a lot of different options they could take when it comes to the armor in Starfield. I hope they take a look into the build crafting side of the game, because that will make it easier for replayability and just fine-tune the systems with all of the RPG elements. Maybe you want your character to be an ex-heavy gunner for the United Colonies or a stealthy assassin for the Ecliptic Mercenaries. Different armor types will let you show this off in-game, but also go a lot deeper with how you can utilize it to the best of its ability. The armor for the game will go a lot deeper than what people might think, and that is what gets me so excited about this particular system. The final feature I want to talk about is how stealth will be utilized in Starfield. Sneaking has been an underdeveloped system in games like Fallout 4, and even when they took a big step forward with it in Skyrim, it felt too overpowered at times. I think I speak for everyone when I say that those who have played Skyrim more than once have definitely used a sneak archer build because it was just the best and easiest one out there. Don't get me wrong, it felt very rewarding when you would be able to snipe bandits from far away without them knowing, but it just made the game too easy. I guess this also has something to do with how NPCs react to having their buddy shot right next to them and acting like nothing happened. But to me, stealth needs to be done better for Starfield. It should still have that rewarding feeling that we saw in Skyrim, but also be a little more challenging to not make it the easiest thing to do in the game. I really want them to take it the furthest it possibly can be. What does this mean, you ask? Well, there are a couple of ways they can go with this. For starters, they can make it so planets that don't have breathable oxygen have an easier time at stealth. Unless the oxygen masks in Starfield have some enhanced hearing or something like that, it should be harder for enemies to hear you when they have their oxygen mask equipped. The opposite would be for planets with breathable oxygen, as there is no need to wear a spacesuit. I also want to see day and night play a significant role when it comes to visibility. It should go without question that players in stealth mode at night or in shady areas should have a lower probability of getting caught. They had something very similar in Skyrim with players near light having a higher chance of being seen, and they should definitely have it in Starfield. We talked a little about this in the number 2 spot, but the type of armor you wear should have an effect as well. Things that are lighter or make less noise should have a higher stealth rate, while clothing that is geared more towards defense and heavy should be harder to have stealth. Again, we saw this in Skyrim with the difference between light and heavy armor, and it should definitely return in some way. Lastly should be the build options to spec into the stealth tree. I really hope they actually have perks available for those who want to be that space assassin and not just leave it off to the side. There are some really cool options like increased weapon damage when in stealth, cloaking devices, and so much more they could do. There's definitely a lot of potential when it comes to stealth in Starfield, and I can only imagine what it would be like to have a sneak artist in space. Starfield is shaping up to be one of the largest games we have ever seen, but it's the little things that will be what makes it fun and enjoyable each playthrough. There is still a lot to look forward to when it comes to Starfield, but its creatures, loot system, and armor will fill out the game to be the best it possibly can be. Until we get more news on it, all we can do is look back and see exactly what we will be getting in Bethesda's next big AAA title, Starfield. But that is all for me now though, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Comment any videos you want to see in the future, and I'll see you all next time.